Hello and welcome to this video. My name is Jesper and I'm going to shortly introduce Nike's organizational background and their digital transformation. Mick will subsequently take over and talk about the problems related to their digital transformation. And finally, Sam and Vince will finish it up by proposing some evidence-based solutions. Nike is an American multinational corporation that has become one of the most iconic brands in the sports world since its founding in 1964. Nike is the world's largest supplier of athletic shoes and sports apparel, but their engagement in the design, development, manufacturing and marketing of footwear, apparel, equipment and accessories go beyond athletic wear, as they are also a world leader in casual and street fashion. Nike is the most valuable brand in the apparel industry. In 2020, Nike employed 76,700 people worldwide across all of their brands: Nike, Converse, Hurley and Jordan. There's more organizational information on the slide, so just pause the video and read some more if you're interested. So let's talk about digital transformation. Nike is moving from a predominantly wholesale business model with an emphasis on brick and mortar sales to a predominantly digital retail-oriented business model. In our interviews with Nike, they indicated that one of their key challenges is transforming the digital infrastructure so that it has all the capabilities needed in order to maximize the success of the company. The crux of these capabilities are centered around data. Nike wants to not only have a website where e-commerce can take place, but to also take advantage of as many data points as possible. Instead of waiting till the end of the month to access data, Nike wants to be able to access data in real time and make real-time analyses of their performance. By doing this, Nike changes their approach to work from a traditional perspective towards a more new and modern approach to their day-to-day work.
When we were looking at the transcripts from the interviews we conducted with several employees from Nike, we derived three problems. The first problem we derived is based around the use of real-time data. The goal of Nike is to enable the company to have real-time data on sales. With this real-time data, it can help Nike transform from a classic brick-and-mortar store/wholesaler to a largely digital-driven retail company. This means that there needs to be a change in the total infrastructure of Nike. In this case, the data could be about sales from different countries, from different kind of products, etc. It used to be that Nike's data analyst needed to wait till the end of the month to receive the data to make any conclusions. Now they will be able to look at all types of different data that will come in real time. Therefore, the conclusion is that Nike needs to update their ERP system in order to make use of real-time data that's now available to them. Secondly, Nike makes use of an old-fashioned version of an ERP system. They hope to enhance the company's data collection system with a better and new ERP system. Those systems create a more systematic and clear overview of the results derived from the data. The reason for this is that the data analysts of the several departments have high availability of the data that can be analyzed to make business decisions. Isidoris lays out the need for an ERP system as such. How do we enable the company to have the right amount of data at the level of detail that we need in order to make the analysis that we need to make? To make sure that this kind of analysis is possible, Nike needs to do an overhaul of the data infrastructure and data sharing. This can be done by the before mentioned ERP system and by improving the knowledge sharing between departments. To conclude problem number 3, which is based around a shift in risk management, as described by one of our interviewees. The general idea here is that by moving from a globalistic approach towards a more nationalistic approach in internet regulation, they try to increase the positive effects of risk management. The holistic overview that is adopted by the risk management department is used to help the organization in making better informed decisions. Mitchell Bamos explains it as follows. Emerging risks that aren't necessarily aligned to one specific function at this point in time are the ones that we need to deal with. This will hopefully help them increase synergy amongst departments.
Implementing an enterprise resource planning system is always a difficult task for a large company like Nike. The two key factors that influence whether the ERP will be employed successfully are the help of external consultants and how well knowledge is transferred throughout the organization. According to research, the guidance provided by external consultants is the single most impactful factor of success in the employment of an ERP system. It is highly recommended for Nike to spend extra effort in selecting a consulting organization and team that not only has considerable experience in implementing an ERP system, but one that thoroughly understands Nike's business practices as well. So what does a consultant do? Consultants guide the firm in the building and utilization of the system. This is especially important for a company like Nike because of their lack of technical know-how, since they're not a tech company. They're there to provide expertise in areas where needed to fill the knowledge gap that will inevitably come from the implementation of any new system throughout the organization. After helping with the initial setup of the system, another important part of the consultant's job is also to train managers in how to be fluent in the new ERP system, which brings us to the next key factor, which is knowledge transfer. Knowledge transfer refers to the procedure in which knowledge is transferred from external consultants and vendors to the internal environment of the company. The successfulness of the knowledge transfer is therefore related to the choosing of a proper external consultant, but the role of transferring and disseminating knowledge throughout the organization remains crucial long after the job of the consultants is finished. In order for Nike to fully exploit the new ERP system, they must increase the level of knowledge concerning the ERP system by building the necessary structures that will help facilitate learning. Nike should provide training for all employees who will use the ERP system on a continual basis, so employees will be able to meet the ever-evolving needs of the business environment. Transformational leadership is needed to provide not only training for the whole organization on how to use the ERP, but also a vision for what they will do with it and why. The characteristics of transformational leaders are that they develop and communicate a strategic vision, then they model this vision. They encourage experimentation among employees, and finally they make sure that they build commitment to the vision.
The concept of ambidexterity might form a solution to Nike's problem. This would mean that a company both exploits and explores its internal processes. By exploiting its existing proven processes, they can aim for efficiency, control, and incremental improvement. On the other hand, they should focus on finding new ways to cope with fluctuating rules and regulations through exploration. According to O'Reilly and Tushman, this would create an environment where flexibility and autonomy grows. This would entail moving the decisive decisions further down the organizational structure, with individuals closer to the action. Subsequently, it could lead to the formation of a link between the internal resources and the external environment, so the company can exploit both whilst keeping the stakeholders' interest into high regard. This is particularly applicable to Mitchell Bamos and his accompanying risk department team, since they would be the ones evaluating which processes to exploit and which ones to explore.